Good morning, everybody. Good to see you again. If anybody saw my original post on the stream that said no live session, I hope that didn't, if you're here, then I guess I didn't confuse you because you saw me change it. I was actually going to not have a live session today because we don't really need it. Then I remembered I saw an email from someone about how everybody's doing live sessions today and we're actually required to take attendance and stuff. So good you're here. And in case you didn't realize that, yeah, you're supposed to go to all your classes live today, unless for some reason your teacher is not doing that, but they pretty much are supposed to be doing that. Just another day for us, right? I'm gonna wait just another minute or two here. Although the people who are not here, the people who pretty much never come, so we're probably good to go. Actually, won't need to keep them on. Wish I were in school, but it is kind of nice being actually see everybody's faces. You can actually see facial expressions and stuff. All right, close enough. Let me go over to the agenda for today. Are we seeing that okay? Can I get a head nod? Cool. All right, so routine stuff. Gonna be working through vocab unit 6 this week. And let's make sure to complete sections 1 through 4 in the book by Wednesday night, usual stuff. All right, second thing, I've added some things to the outline assignment to give you some more pointers. So the outline is due by Wednesday night. Okay, so you got today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to work on that. Please reread the requirements. I'm going to pop over there for a sec. Make sure you get full credit. And again, the more work you put into the outline, the way I make this outline, you're basically making a rough draft, right? So if you do all full sentences, you know, maybe even go and put those parenthetical references in there, you're going to be good to go. Let's take a look. Research bits. Kind of scroll down here, okay, but there's the due date, okay, December 2nd. Okay, so turning your complete outline here by the due date, Wednesday night, make sure to follow all requirements as a 30-point writing grade. Paraphrase how you'll use an opening device strategy to open your paper, and I have posted this document here, if you haven't already seen this, which tells you a few different ways that you can open your paper. You can also use these in some ways to close your paper, your conclusion. Some of them kind of overlap with ones that I showed you on the narrative, right? Edit that a little bit here. No, got a bunch of stuff with slashes, that's why it's doing that. Okay, so opening devices are a way to hook your readers indirectly rather than just like starting, you know, what might otherwise be kind of a dry argument at first. Something broad, entertaining, insightful, shocking, tragic, something. It's not always positive, right? It's when you're drawing the reader's attention toward a problem, right? Use it to build up to your thesis, which then turns the paper and reader towards your argument. You can do some sort of generalization about some aspect of human nature. Try discussing the type of issue your paper about in general without writing about yourself. This makes the reader understand, maybe relate to an issue, common problem or experience, and then you can bring the reader in with your thesis. You could do a startling statistic. A lot of these topics would lend themselves well to that. Catch your reader's attention with a startling stat having to do with the type of problem you're discussing. It's only apply to a narrow, not all topics, but definitely some, maybe more than just a narrow range. But if it applies to the work, you can do a hypothetical or real anecdote. telling a small story or just a little piece of a story that's either real or hypothetical, that's like a case, an example from something that would demonstrate the problem is a good way to do it. Or finally, you could do a memorable quote. If you have, anytime you're doing your research, you find someone who says something, someone who's actually quoted, or just something like an author, or a journalist or something who's written, that really kind of captures the essence of the problem that you're trying to point out, might be a good, powerful way with some, lending some expertise feel to it. If you have something else in mind, feel free to discuss it with me, but what's important is that you start broadly, indirectly. Don't start the paper with your thesis. That comes at the end of the introduction, right? Hopefully we already know that. Okay, so the outline document is here. I've already gone through that with you. But what I've also posted is a review of how to do the argumentative outline. And I took an example, a pretty ideal example from a year or two ago, and I screen share. If you watch this video, the 7-minute video, I screen share my way through pointing out how this person has demonstrated all of these things. Okay, I figured out easier to do that than to try to do it live. And you guys can watch, you can pause it, you can look at all the examples. She's got the whole thing filled in there. Okay. The rest of the requirements, write your thesis out completely with a blueprint. It's got to have that. It's a big problem because of this, this, and this. Okay. Write topic sentences out completely. That's the first sentence of each body paragraph. Use at least one full sentence in each box in the body paragraphs. Include parenthetical references for each quote. I am actually asking you to do that. If you watch the video, you'll see what those look like, but really all it is just the name of the author's last name in parentheses right after each quote. Okay, that's all you have to do. Now, there's certain ways you do that punctuation. I'll point out in the video. I'm not going to go over that here. I have gone over it before, but you'll see in the video. In the conclusion, write out your restated thesis completely, make it a little bit different now that you've proven with your evidence, and then paraphrase your closing device idea here too. Okay, so the document that you do, devices you could use to open and close, and a review of an entire model are all in there. Okay, back to our overall agenda. So we are going to be starting our novel for this unit, okay, which will take up a good part of the rest of. I want to get you going on the research, get you kind of over the hump first before we got this in, but I think we're ready to go now. So John Steinbeck says Mice and Men. Technically, it's really more of a novella. Hopefully everybody has this. If for some reason you have misplaced that, thought you had it and don't, I am going to place, I can't remember what I already did, but I'll double check. I'm going to place a PDF of the entire novel. And if you need to use that, or for some reason prefer to use that, then you can. And when I post study guides that point out the pages, I'll note the pages that it is on the PDF too. But for today, all you need to do is complete the biography video Edpuzzle, which is now posted. Let me double check, I have that up here. Yep, Edpuzzle Steinbeck. I'm sure you've done Edpuzzles, and it is just a way for you to watch a biography video on John Steinbeck and answer a few questions as you go, so you kind of get an idea of where this guy is coming from. You need to do that sometime today or tonight, okay? And then when we see each other live tomorrow, for sure, required attendance again. Then we'll get our first study guide, and I might have kind of a tentative schedule, but we'll see. I've been kind of holding back on things like that recently with everything going on. Make sure you have your hard copy novel, and otherwise I have your PDF up. All right, I think that is it. Let me come off the screen share. Anybody have any questions about any of that stuff? Okay, so work on your outline, watch the video, keep in mind vocab's due later in the week, and that's it for today. Have fun with the rest of your live sessions all day. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.